Howdy, and welcome to the MrMaple Show. I'm Tim, that's Corbin. We're MrMaple.com, a family mail order business. We ship directly to your door, and we do over 1,000 varieties of Japanese maples. Today, at Tuesday, November 11th of 2025, we're listing 10. We're actually listing 20. We call it our 10 at 10, where we list 10 new trees every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. and Thursday. Really 20 of them. We're going to talk about 10 of them on the table today.
Guys, go outside, look at the fall color of your Japanese maples, and check out also this video because we're going to be showcasing some amazing Japanese maples. They're going to work great for, smaller gardens. They're going to work great for anybody who's a Japanese maple collector, and some of them are going to have some great fall color going on right now.
Guys, first off, we've got Acer Japonicum Yamakagi, also known, translates as Mountain Shadows. It's a selection by Don Schmidt Nursery that was found as a seedling in their subdivision, which is called Mountain Shadows, is the name of their actual subdivision. Y'all, this is a beautiful upright Japonicum with amazing fall color.
Yeah, this is one of the first Japonicum introductions that I became familiar with. And every single morning I get to walk past one and go into the office here at MrMaple. And right now it is electric with just beautiful oranges to reds. And it kind of started off, I love like that kind of in between where you make like in between of that green to red where you kind of get those nice deep purple colors. And then how that slowly kind of changes into that fiery orange.
This is one of my all-time favorite Japonicums. I love Indian Summer, but Yamakagi is just one of those trees that has one of the biggest leaves of any Acer Japonicum, and you add that together with having amazing fall color, it's a win-win.
Yeah, I think everybody loves kind of that tropical feel that we talk about whenever we're talking about Japonicums. You can play with the leaf size on Japonicums. The more sun that they have, the smaller the leaf, and vice versa. Putting it in the shade. I've seen some pictures of some Japonicum leaves that are, about that large that Tim's got pretty big hands, man, and his hand is kind of dwarfed by the size of the Japonicum leaf. And, we always talk about a larger canvas means more color, more beauty that you get to experience. And, Yamakage is a Japonicum that you're going to love each and every single year.
Guys, next up we've got Cornus Kusa Summer Fun. This is an introduction by Talon Buchholz. It's a variegated Chinese dogwood that has just a creamy white edge, almost like a blue-green interior part of the leaf. It's extremely beautiful.
Yeah, this is an amazing dogwood. I think it's probably the easiest one to remember in my book. It just looks so distinct. It has beautiful, white blooms, just like a lot of the Cornus Kusas. But this thing starts blooming a little early because whenever those leaves emerge, I know Matt's always talking about the foliage is the flower with this one, but then you also get regular flowers too. So that's always something that stands out to me with this one. But there's a little bit of fall time fun too, I'd say, man.
We're starting to see some fall color starting to come in on some of yours, where you get that pink coming in, and then the interior part of the leaf starts changing colors as well. That's a really fun time for summer fun as well. A good upright tree, disease resistant, beautiful foliage, beautiful flowers.
Yeah. All right, guys, next up, we got one of my favorite reticulated varieties, Amagi Shigure.
Yeah, Amagi Shigure can give you some lavender, unreal colors in the early spring, from almost like a metallic purple to a lavender purple. It is spectacular. If you can put it in more shade, you can get almost like a metallic green color out of it, which is really neat too. But a little bit of sunlight really makes this tree really pop and give you unusual colors you don't get out of many trees.
I love that metallic sheen over top. I really think that helps catch the light. That's why I feel like it's nice to have it in that shadier location because, you start to get those weird pink lavendery colors. But then you have that metallic sheen over top, which kind of, catches that light as it's going across, your gardens. This is a little bit slower growing one too, which is kind of nice, especially if you're in a smaller garden. I know some of those other Go series might get a little bit larger. This is going to be in that kind of 6 foot and 10-year range.
And I also love the shape on it too.
Yes.
You have a lot of semi-pendulous branches where it arches out and sort of gives this unique shape as well. Great tree to pair out there with something like we just talked about earlier with that summer fun. Definitely gives you some color play off of that. But also something, if you're looking for another dwarf reticulated type, something like Shigi no Hoshi or a First Ghost, those would be fantastic trees to pair this with out in the garden.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe that Blonde Beauty too, man. You know, get that little bit of yellow color mixing with that beautiful like pink and purplish color going on.
Everybody loves the color yellow.
Exactly. Summer gold. That's Amagi Shigure, guys. One you're not going to want to miss out on.
All right, guys. Next up, not so incognito, we have Easter Palmatum Incognito.
Yeah, I love this variety. Nice, tight, dense habit. We have one of these right next to the office too. It's one that always draws my attention with that texture it brings to the garden. You know, very thin, sharp leaves, and they're very tightly packed, giving you a really nice texture right there. Also kind of like a more of a vase shape as well. So it's going to work in a lot of smaller gardens as well. And then this is really my first year paying attention to that really nice deep red fall color it's getting right now. I'm just bringing out some purples and that sort of thing. Very, very beautiful.
Yeah, Incognito has that tight layering habit that we love with trees like Makawa Yatsubusa. It has an upright form, almost like a Shishigashira. The leaf itself is a little more divided and elongated. It gives a really durable tree out in the landscape, but it gives a unique texture just because it's got the sort of frilly look to a tightly layering Japanese maple. Pretty awesome, unusual, different. A very popular one, so it's going to sell out quick today. Make sure you grab your Incognito.
Yeah, don't miss out.
All right, guys, next up, we've got a big tooth maple, Acer macrophyllum, Mocha Rose.
Yeah, man, you ain't got to go to the dentist for this one, man. Also, that morning brew goes well with this one as well. It's a great, great spring interest, big tooth maple. The macrophyllums, something that, you know, I wasn't too privy to until we went to Oregon. And I know Matt was giving old Tim a hard time, man, because Tim's like, that's an Acer macrophyllum right there. But this guy, Matt and Tim, they got some sharp eyes, because, you know, sometimes you just got to pull over on the side of the road. You see a variegated or a sporting macrophyllum. And yeah, Mocha Rose would go great with a yellow macrophyllum because it is pink in the springtime. Very, very beautiful, soft pink.
Yeah, Mocha Rose selection by Talon Buck Holtz. It leaves out in the spring with a bright coral pink. Corbin's talking about it. One of the last times we went to Oregon together, we spotted a yellow big tooth maple on the side of the road, and Corbin had to get his teeth involved to help get an air layer off the ground that had air layered there on the bank. But Mocha Rose gives you that pink spring color, that just rosy pink. It's beautiful. It's one of the most beautiful spring interest macrophyllums I've ever seen. It makes a larger tree out in the garden. Make sure you plant these in the ground. Acer macrophyllums, they're not a long-term container plant. They do prefer being planted in the ground. They want plenty of good drainage, and if you're in an area that has good rain, a high amount of rainfall, they do phenomenal. Love the big tooth maple and what it can do out there. They're a Northwest native. The Pacific Northwest, these grow, you know, all over, but they don't have this color that Mocha Rose does. And it really gives you some really nice spring interest. Mocha Rose, pretty rare tree. Grab you one today.
Guys, next up, we got an amazing Talon Buck Holtz introduction. You guys probably know this one. We got Japanese Princess, an amazing pink spring Makawa.
Yeah, I mean, Talon, this is one of the very first color interests on a Japanese maple has that Makawa layering structure. Japanese Princess isn't just a pink Makawa form. It also has a twisting leaf to it. It gives a unique texture for that Makawa form as well. We're talking 4 foot by 4 foot in 10 years. Give it some sunlight to really peak up that pink color. For me, this is one of the originals and still one of the best of the pink forms of a Makawa.
Yeah, man, I'm just sitting here thinking too, that ruffle would really play well with things like Kuranajishi. Where, you know, you're kind of going to get that kind of pink in the springtime with that really nice, bright, vibrant red of the Kuranajishi. You're going to get similar ruffled looks. Then as this moves into summertime, you're going to have the contrast between those dark reds and this beautiful, you know, vibrant green that it has during, you know, most of the summertime. But then whenever you come back to fall, you're going to get amazing deep red and fiery engine red colors going on, your Japanese Princess and your Kuranajishi. And I mean, that's kind of just like a nice little play throughout the whole entire year. This one is really amazing. We have 3 of these planted in front of the office. This year was really like the first time I felt like the fall color just like went crazy on them. And you stand there and oogle and ogle at them because the way that the shape is and the way that the color is really is just super dynamic.
Yeah, great container plant. Give it some protection from the hot afternoon sun in hotter climates because it is pink, and pink can burn if you give it too much sun. But this is a great container plant, great for bonsai, and great for those small places in the garden.
Yeah, and don't forget, sometimes you get some conditional variegation going on this one as well, man. Super, super cool introduction.
Guys, next up we have Acer oliveranum. Sometimes people list it as Acer palmatum, Mystic Jewel. It's very clear to us when you look at the leaves. Definitely has some of that Acer oliveranum influence. Leaf very similar to something like hot blonde. It's a vigorous, upright tree, and the cool thing about Mystic Jewel is you get some lavenders on the new growth that can just be unreal, very unusual and different. So we've got two different trees that can give you some lavender colors, Mystic Jewel and that Amagi Shigure we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a really interesting combo right there. This one, yeah, the subtlety of that purple as the spring kind of emerging, you know, watching that leaf unfurl, watching that purple blush kind of pull back to reveal like this really nice emerald green. But there's still, throughout the year, there's still kind of that little bit of like purple hints like over the top of the leaf, which I love. I think it looks really, really amazing. And right now we're kind of getting some nice yellow and orange kind of fall color going on too.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's beautiful. It's Acer oliveranum, so it's going to be fairly heat tolerant as well. Grab you one of these, put it out there next to hot blonde. You're going to have hot blonde going to some yellows. You're going to get some crazy lavenders off of this. Definitely a fun tree to have out there in the garden. That's unusual and different than what you think of it for a typical Acer palmatum.
I didn't even think about, you know, that Mystic Jewel hot blonde combo, but that's like some interest, some contrast throughout the year as well, especially with those fall colors in the springtime.
Guys, next up we have Acer japonicum Omote, also known as Ruby Red or just Ruby.
Yeah, this one is super dope during the springtime. Getting to watch this thing kind of emerge as like a nice orange color moving in. I love the leaf shape on this one, very rounded japonicum leaf. Like, it's interesting to see the differences. I mean, there aren't too many japonicum introductions, but really each one kind of varies a lot. From that Mayukajaku to that Yamakagi we were talking about earlier, and then maybe to something of a more rounded leaf right here on these Omotes. Super, super dope, especially if you enjoy japonicums. I think this one is one that you want to add to your collection for sure.
Now, some people list this as a Acer shirasalanum. Some people list it as Acer japonicum. The true species is it may even be a hybrid. Who really knows? The narrow habit on it definitely makes me think that it could have some maybe pseudosubuldianum influence. I don't know. The rounded leaves are amazing, but the color in the springtime when you get that ruby kind of red color in the spring is outstanding, and it holds long throughout the season. So it's not just a blush like something like some of the other japonicums. It holds longer throughout the season, giving you some really nice color out there. To me, there's a lot of potential in this tree to find the future for Acer japonicums. You have color interest, you've got more narrow shape, you've got a diversity of what we typically think of an Acer japonicum. Definitely a really cool tree. You should have it in your garden. Guys, next up we have Acer palmatum Columnar.
Yeah, I mean, it's all in the name right there. I mean, this is going to be a very nice, beautiful columnar-shaped Japanese maple, which, you know, I've really come to appreciate, man. I think that sometimes, you know, when you have a blank canvas like columnar or maybe Tsukasa silhouette, pruning those to kind of define the shape, even make them more columnar than they would be naturally without any pruning, really amazing. I've seen columnar trees pruned in almost like a conifer style where you get a kind of a pyramidal shape. I think that can be kind of enhanced by pruning maybe that secondary growth out during the summertime to make sure you're really focusing in on all of that first flush growth. And
I think
really,
you're talking about with Yutaka Tanaka at Tsukasa
Exactly.
Maple. Like, he goes in and prunes the summer flush, that secondary flush. And when you do that, you can actually accentuate the columnar habit even more.
Definitely.
Because this columnar makes a columnar shape naturally all by itself. But if you come in and give it a late summer pruning to accentuate that, where, you know, late summer flushes, or sometimes when we get some of the wildest flushes of growth, you can keep an extremely narrow form, which can be very unique. Now, columnar differs from something like Tsukasa silhouette because columnar will typically give you some really nice bold shades of orange in the fall. And that is very starkly different than the Tsukasa silhouette, which typically ends up with that red color in the fall. Very columnar, obviously, as the name it states, but also very vigorous and very hardy.
Yeah, I think having these as like entrances, I remember Jay Sifford was always talking about, you want to have entrances to the garden, you want to have framing to the garden. And I really think things like, you know, like Tsukasa Silhouette, like Columnar, like Twombly's Red Sentinel, those things where we have these giant pillars, that really, they can either work in two ways. You know, they can work in framing, or they can work in kind of accentuating your garden up into the sky and having that really nice contrast, and giving you really nice vertical lines in the garden, which really will pull people's attention. There's a lot of play that can be made between them, obviously, like we were talking about. And yeah, you get that awesome fall color too. I mean, sounds like a win to me.
All right, guys, before we get onto this last tree, let me tell you about our open house. We've got an open house coming up November 21st and 22nd. That's a Friday and Saturday from 9 a.m. To 1 p.m. We're going to have tons of cool plants, but we're going to make it our Black Friday in-person sale. It's going to have a lot of cool plants on sale here, and you can shop them in person that day. We've never done this before, and so we thought we'd try it out this year. Hope you can make it. It'll be a blast and a fun time.
Yeah, I mean, open house, one of my favorite times of the maple season, man, especially Black Friday deals, man. It's going to be dope. Hopefully we won't have too big of a crowd, you know, banging down that door. We might put some highlights up on YouTube, you know. Some of those crazy maple collectors, they like to get a little sprint in the early morning of the open houses. And yeah, there's going to be some awesome plants. But we got another amazing plant right here, a dwarf Acer palmatum Saiho.
Yeah, Saiho has small leaves, very vigorous. It's one of our first videos we've shot here on the Mr. Maple Show on YouTube. It's actually the very first. You can go check it out. See me at a much younger age shooting Saiho, the ultimate dwarf bonsai Japanese maple. I love it because it calipers up. It has small foliage. It has really small foliage on that secondary flush, so really tiny leaves on that secondary flush, but it has a dense compact habit. And it always keeps shooting out lots of interior growth, which gives you a lot of room to work and to shape and to train.
Yeah, I know these have a lot of growth, and these are really nice size ones. Don't get worried about that vertical growth. As you get it potted up and you get it put into your location, it's going to start really focusing in on a lot of those lateral branching going on. And most of the time, this ends up as a nice ball shape too.
Yeah, I mean, you let Saiho go on its own, and it's going to make that nice little ball shape out there in the garden. I've seen a lot of people take these, you know, since we started carrying Saiho, you know, 10, 12 years ago, and use these as almost like the shrubs in the garden and plant multiple ones of these, because they make that perfectly round ball all by themselves. But then you have a Japanese maple out there that's going to be very beautiful, add value to the landscape, and it's going to give you that Japanese maple fall color that everybody loves. So it's a very usable tree out there in the landscape, and it's fairly durable as well.
Yeah, I think I love that too. It's like, you know, you get that beauty of kind of that shrub going on, and then you get the fall color. But then something I love about dwarf maples is the structure. You know, obviously the dwarf are going to be focusing a lot in that smaller area, so the trunks really develop nicely. You know, that's why a lot of people use them as like kind of a bonsai tree. You know, they have the small leaf. They have a really kind of easy to manage growth that you can really bonsai up. And yeah, the strong structure of a dwarf tree is always nice to look at during the wintertime too.
Well, guys, that's 10 of our 20 trees getting listed today at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on MrMaple.com. We appreciate if you shopped with us. Appreciate if you subscribed here on the Mr. Maple Show, and we can't wait to see you at our open house.
Yeah, comment down below your favorite tree that you saw today on 10 at 10. And yeah, remember, take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.